back, everybody, to the Internet Dad Show. I am JJW. That is Deke. That is Dave. And we are your Internet Dads. We meet Monday through Friday, unless it's a holiday, or unless I'm busy, or unless, things happen. Whatever. We drink coffee. We read the news.
You know what?
Whatever's interesting stories. Okay.
You know what's more important in this world than us three talking to each other is the stuff like with your kids, and because you're going to blink and they're not going to be little girls anymore.
Yeah. I had an interesting conversation this morning with my wife. So, you know what? Interesting is relative. It won't be interesting to you, but that's okay. You can endure this for a minute. Yeah. This weekend, I took my kids up to the Metroplex area, and I took my daughters to Six Flags, nice. Which is what they wanted to do because my oldest daughter is turning 7 tomorrow, actually. But they just wanted to go to Six Flags, so we went to Six Flags. And you might think, oh, Six Flags, that'd be fun. We can all ride roller coasters and stuff. Well, if by roller coasters you mean the sombrero hat and the teacup ride, and then we can walk back and forth from Boomtown to where they do face paints, and we can do that all day long. Yeah, that's what a Six Flags experience can be like.
Not so much for younger kids. Yeah, 9, 10 and under. Not so much. Even back in the 90s, we had a Six Flags in just past St. Louis, and Six Flags over Mid-America. We used to go all the time. And
first place I rode a roller coaster.
I waited in the Batman ride line for over
the first roller coaster.
hours.
3 hours. Oh my God.
Yes. I swear to God, I waited in that line for over 3 hours. It was the Batman ride where you like sat up and your feet.
You're like hanging. You're like dangling. Yeah.
Me and my buddy Chad waited in line for over 3 hours for that, twisting all the way around. It was crazy. The first year that it was open. But anyway, it's not really meant for children. I mean, there was like a little area, but now I'm looking at it from your standpoint. And like we've got kind of close to both of us is this area in Indiana. There is a town in Indiana called Santa Claus, Indiana. All right.
Santa Claus.
Yes, Santa Claus, Indiana. And in Santa Claus, Indiana is a place called Holiday World. And Holiday World has a big splash and safari, and it's called Holiday World. And they've got like little themes for stuff. And Halloween, they do stuff. They've got a cool little drone.
Big Halloween thing.
They've got like a Thanksgiving roller coaster and stuff like that. But it's more for kids.
Yeah.
It really is more. There's the splash. Take the splash part out. There's more stuff for younger kids to do there than it was for me. I had like 3 roller coasters in the swings, and that was it.
Yeah. There were rides for kids. And my youngest daughter, like they had one that went up about 20 feet or whatever, and it spun around in circles as a swing. And she rode that thing again and again and again and again. And mom got off and
wait a minute.
You will remember that day forever.
But we need to take in a couple of factors here. Factor number 1, this is Lily. She is not like normal children.
No.
If you say, Lily, do you want to climb that radio tower? And before you think about it, she would be halfway. She would be starting to climb.
Yeah, she's starting already.
I don't think all children are as
adventurous.
Outgoing, adventurous as she is. She's got that adventurous spirit. And
she thinks everything's gonna be fine. She's not gonna get hurt no matter what. She thinks, and she's been hurt many times, but she thinks she's gonna be okay.
That's what they got to do to learn. But most children, I would think, would be screamy, scared, not wanting. So you get into the ride designer aspect. And it's like, okay, what do we do now? We've got the same 6 rides that the kids don't scream on.
So we went on a trip, and we come back from the trip, and I took out my car seats and cleaned the car. We go on a trip, we get back, I unload the car, like everybody else gets to like ride and sleep and whatever, and I get to pack the car, drive the car, get here, unload the car, and then I clean it out because it's crumbs and
it's called Labor Day, JJ.
Yeah, it's Labor Day. It is Labor Day. So I take the kids' car seats, and they got booster seats, take them out, and they're kind of gross. So I wash them out and I let them dry on the porch overnight. This morning, I go to take the kids to school, and I'd forgotten to put the booster seats back in, and my kids my kids are in the car and I'm bringing the booster seats, but my oldest daughter sitting in the car, sitting in the car, ready to strap up, and I'm like, oh my god, she almost doesn't need the booster seat anymore. And so that moment for me was like, oh no, I don't know what the law is or what the rules are, what the height is, but like, and Jill's tall, and
Dude, when Deacon started sitting in the seat in the car next to me in the passenger seat, it was
it
like
was weird, right?
Well, let me tell you now, what's even weirder is that Alex and Kendra drive me around as I sit in the back seat. So
Mhm.
don't think that I am not sitting there acting like the most pompous Uber rider in the world when he's driving. I mean, I am giving it to him, man.
Oh my god! All right,
It is. That's why I keep harping on you for years now that you're going to blink and it's going to be gone, and you're finally seeing the first little. But it's
going
really
fast.
Alex and Deacon were just little boys just like 2 or 3 weeks ago. They were like little boys.
Yeah.
And now they're grown men bigger than me. You know, so I'm telling you, they blink.
It really does go by very quickly. Like it really does.
I read this quote one time or something. I'm not going to get it right, but it was something to the effect of, you are in your children's, you know, your children as adults more than you will know your children as children. So you will only
That's an
have
interesting thought.
you will only have your children as children for just a little while, but you will know them more in your lifetime as adults, your children as adults. And I was like, wow, I've never really thought of it that way before.
Wow.
So it kind of makes
I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, time wise, sure.
On average, you'll spend 30 or 40 years with your kids as adults, and you'll make
the quality
time.
Lucky. The quality of the time is much richer with the kids than with the adults. I mean, I love my mom, but I don't spend a lot of quality time with my mom now. I spent more quality time with her when I was still living at the house. When I was still a kid. So
That's true.
I don't know.
Just what I'm telling you, JJ, soak all this stuff up. That's why I don't get mad when you say I'm taking this. You know, I don't even care because Jill is going, when Jill gets 16 and 17, and you will see her when she comes home, be home at 9. You'll see her at 9, 10 minutes, go off to bed. You know, Kendra, I see her. She wakes up. Hey, you got to work? Okay. Hey, how was work? Great. How's the boyfriend? Awesome. I love you. That's what I mean. If I get 5 minutes, I am blessed with that 5 minutes that day.
All right. We got a bunch of news to cover.
Happy
Good morning,
times.
everybody. Yeah. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, watch our show. You can just hang out with us every day. If you just hang out, like, we're not asking for much. It's 1 out of your 24 hours a day, every single day.
This is the Internet Dads show, and all three of us are dads, and we talk about crap all the time. So it's I like talking about dad stuff sometimes.
All right, let's talk about some stuff that I don't know. What I'm sure we can figure out what's going on here. In fact, I don't even want to read the context note because it's more interesting if we don't.
Okay,
Deacon, what's going on here?
Oh,
you're not gonna believe this. It seems like something is maybe going wrong with the Boeing spaceship.
You think?
A question about Starliner.
Houston's with you, Butch. Go ahead.
There's a strange noise coming through the speaker, and I didn't know if you could connect into the Starliner and let me keep mic and let you hear it. I don't know what's making it, but I don't know if it's something that maybe is connected between here and there, making that happen. But anyway, can you do that?
We can configure that, Butch. Give us a minute, and I'll call you back when it's ready.
Okay.
Station Houston on 2. We're configured for audio via hardline and CST. If you want to give us a call.
Okay, I'm in Starliner, and how do you read?
5x5. How many?
Yes, sir. Okay, I'm gonna keep the mic up next to the speaker.
Copy.
Hear that?
Okay, here it comes.
At negative, Butch, we did not hear anything. All right, Butch, that one came through. It was kind of like a pulsing noise, almost like a
an alien's
sonar
heartbeat.
ping.
Yeah, I'll do it one more time, and I'll let y'all scratch your heads and see if you can figure out what's going on. Here we go.
Okay, so to recap the situation, the NASA sent 2 astronauts up in a spaceship manufactured by Boeing.
Okay, wait a minute, real quick. They tried.
They only packed for 8 days. They've been there for 60. They might be there through 2025. Are you done? And
we had a
and
bad.
they're afraid to bring it back because there's a helium leak or the ship doesn't fit, the spacesuits aren't right, and they can't come home. And now they have a persistent sound on the speaker going wah 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 all day long. They can't sleep.
We had a bad connection there for a second because you played catch up on my end.
No.
Yeah, I mean this Starliner was they tried to launch it a couple of times. They had a computer issue, and then the main issue was the liquid hydrogen. They were having liquid hydrogen leaks, and the liquid hydrogen pushes the fuel into the boosters and the attitude adjusters and stuff. So if you had they had a couple and they fixed them, and then when they got on up there, they had some more leaks. So they've had some problems with this Boeing Starliner. You want me to tell you, there was 2 things that thing sounded like to me, that pinging sound.
Yeah.
A heartbeat. No. Well, yeah, it kind of.
Alien heartbeat.
It sounds like somebody beating, like there's a trapped someone like trying to beat. They're on their last best.
I forgot to get off the ship before we launched.
Or
Trying to contact you about your insurance.
or I think this is the best one here, JJ. You'll have to switch it over.
Yeah.
I think it could be this.
Okay. What do we got?
You know what that is?
What is that? What is that? Awful.
That's the alien
Getting
monitor
closer. You're getting
from
closer.
the movie Alien.
That's real bad.
Those are aliens coming in.
I'm gonna turn that off before I go deaf. That's terrible. Oh, that's from Aliens. The little
Thank you, JJ. Finally got it. JJ finally got the joke.
That was full screen. You only ever saw like a little bit of frame of it on the movie.
That's actually
yeah. Well, listen.
you
Maybe
can
if they had consecrated the spaceship in goat's blood or something like that, they would keep the demon ghosts from.
I mean, we do everything else, music and everything, movies. So yeah, why didn't we do the spacecraft?
I don't know.
Stop consecrating stuff like that.
Have you not
All right.
gone down the rabbit hole of what they do over the master albums and why they're called master albums and stuff like that?
What?
Have you not gone into that rabbit hole? Oh,
No.
Dave,
Read that deep too.
Dave, go down that rabbit hole.
Okay,
I'll send you some links. It's very.
I'm
I
not
gotta
sure he's
finish
going
your
down that
sermon
rabbit hole.
I will.
I saw a message you sent pop up, but I don't know where it is, so I can't look for it right now. Okay. Sorry. Let's see. Let's talk about some other stuff. We got so the Boeing spaceship has just got one more. Just got one more problem. Anyway, okay. And I deleted something. Let's talk about this. Apparently, Oh, I saw this yesterday. This is scary for me. Hold on, this is for real scary. We have service people in Turkey. Apparently, there's a ship, the USS Wasp, and personnel from the USS Wasp were abducted while in Turkey. Yeah, I think it's happened a couple of times. This one was on video, and I think he was defended by somebody. But U.S. Navy personnel are being attacked by Turkish nationalists. Turkey, by the way, I believe is a member of NATO in an ally country. So you have the equivalent of like, I don't know, Proud Boys or something like that in Turkey that are like, hey, U.S., get out of here, U.S. soldiers. Look at this. Watch this. This is scary. They're screaming, Yankee, go home. They put a
Go home.
bag over his head, which, you know, like, and obviously they're struggling and fighting with him. That can go bad. That can go south very, very quickly. That's not good. I wonder what the situation is that we have such bad relations with our allies. I mean, I don't know if Turkey is an ally, but I know they're a member of the European Union. I think they're a member of NATO. This assault attempt appeared to be an attempted kidnapping. The mob threw a sack over the head of an American sailor. It was thwarted when 5 other U.S. soldiers stepped in and the Turkish police. So American military is not safe around the world.
No.
Not safe. You're not safe. So that's not good. And speaking of military that are not safe around the world, over the weekend, the Gold Star families wrote a letter denouncing Vice President Harris. So we were off the air whenever this kind of went down over the last week. The
Explain
families
Gold Star.
of the Gold Star families are the families who lost their children who were service members during the botched. Is it Gold Star specifically for the botched withdrawal of Afghanistan, or is it just any
First
kind of?
I'd ever heard
I thought
of
it was
something like that.
I thought it was any. I could be wrong, but I thought it was if it was
Yeah.
any. But I know
So-
this section of the cemetery that is connected here is specifically for the soldiers who died in the Afghanistan removal.
That is definitely the context of this thing. The families of 13. Hey Brian, good morning. The families of 13 service members who died during the botched withdrawal of Afghanistan in 2021 invited Trump to come to a wreath laying ceremony at the Tomb of the Universal Soldier, and then to visit the graves of their kids, and so Trump went. And then there was some sort of an altercation because somebody at the, site didn't want Trump there or whatever, but the 13 families did. So they wanted him there. And so Trump went, he paid his respects to them. And, now they did not invite Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. But moreover, apparently Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in the last 3 years haven't done anything to even reach out to these people. So 13 families of Gold Star.
Surprise, 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 as old Gomer
right.
Paul would say. Surprise, surprise, surprise.
So 7 of the 13 Gold Star families who lost sons and daughters during the United States botched withdrawal from Afghanistan penned a letter denouncing Kamala Harris's attacks against former president. So Kamala Harris, observing Trump at the ceremony, attacked Trump by saying he was making it some sort of a political public display or whatever. So she attacks Trump. The families are like, no. We invited Trump, and you can't say shit like that. And so now the families of veterans who gave their lives for this country because of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are now quite livid. They're quite livid. Some of the so here's Trump posting some of the letter I'm not gonna show all that, but
Didn't Kamala use it as like a talking point?
Yeah,
It is an
trying
election.
to leverage this.
Everything is a talking point. It's an election.
Well,
Yeah.
Good point. But she tried to use this, like JJ said, as leverage to brainwash
Yeah.
you.
So the families asserted that Harris and Biden bore responsibility for the deaths of the 13 fallen who perished in their mission. Her administration's catastrophic mishandling of the Afghanistan withdrawal directly led to the murder of 13 service members, including our children. Despite our multiple requests for a meeting to discuss the loss of our loved ones, Vice President Harris has repeatedly ignored us, showing a complete lack of empathy and accountability. And again, remember, the previous story I just showed you was Biden-Harris military soldiers in another country, not even a country we're at war with, being relentlessly attacked by the populace. And, there is responsibility for the position that she's seeking, and they're callous. They don't care. They don't care. It's real bad. Yeah, right. And then there's this. I'm sorry. Did you get? I don't know if you guys had anything to say about that, but that story came up when we were okay.
I have
And then
no
there's-
comment.
Yeah, no comment. And then there's this story. Vets who served with Tim Waltz slam him for cowardice, lying, and the stolen valor controversy. So this story ain't going away among people that care about the military or veterans. Apparently, they got together and said that he's morally indefensible, has no integrity, he's a habitual liar, and a coward. So these are veterans that served with Tim Waltz, and they don't like him calling himself a retired command sergeant major, or that he had been at war or anything else. Megyn Kelly had a sit down scoop interview with these guys, so you may check out the Megyn Kelly show. I guess she's on X. All right.
Hey, speaking of, since this is a little segue, the Megyn Kelly show. Do you guys know Theo Von? Of course you do. You know Theo Von. You know Theo Von?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so Theo Von, let me bring up a picture for you here, Sinister.
It's so funny.
Theo Von was originally on the very first time I ever seen him. He was on the Real World Road Rules Challenge. It was either the Real World Road Rules Challenge or it was like Road Rules, or he wasn't on the Real World. I think it was the Real World Road Rules Challenge, if I'm not mistaken, is
really
where I first saw Theo Von. Yeah,
okay.
A long time ago. If here, make me the moderator. I can't do anything.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me fix that right now.
That's all right.
Sorry. If I had done my job and made the title card earlier this morning, I wouldn't be.
No, the title card is
right now.
The title card.
I have a new setup, so I was trying to get all this going.
Here. All right, you guys are moderator.
All right, so that Dave is Theo Von. You know Theo?
Nope.
He's a comedian. He's
It's very funny.
Yeah, he's real funny, but he is a great interviewer. He's got this little podcast that he started. Hang on, my bad. He's got this little podcast that he started, I think, during COVID and whatnot. He's a recovering alcoholic and drug abuser and all this because he was famous. And, he got famous from being a reality TV star from that. And then he went on to do his stand-up comedy and stuff like that. And anyway, he's got a podcast. He interviewed Donald Trump here recently.
Yeah.
It's an hour long. And I'm here to tell you, that is one of the best interviews I have ever listened to. I have been an interviewer for 30 years, for almost about 25 years. I bet I've been interviewing people, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people I've interviewed. This is a great interview. It is like, it's not even an interview. It's like two buddies sitting there talking. At one point, Donald Trump basically for like 10 minutes, he's asking Theo questions about his drug abuse, drug recovery and stuff. It's for the first like 5 minutes, they talk about UFC, like two old buddies sitting there talking about the fights and stuff. It's great.
I listened to that interview. And
I listened to it
he talks about Theo's basically prodding Trump a little bit, asking him if he ever drank, ever smoked, and Trump's like, no, never. And the reason why is he starts talking about his brother, who was an alcoholic, and
then Theo at one point is like asking questions. Hey, how does that make you feel? Do you ever think about it? And then Theo remembers, he's like, I don't mean to go here, blah blah blah. But Trump's like, no, if it helps one person, then let's talk about it. And it was a really good interview.
Trump is able to and is willing to sit down and have long form conversations. And the thing is, like, okay, can people like BS and lie and be dishonest in short intervals? Yeah, but you get them in long form conversations, and they're either going to be honest or they're going to trip up and say something that is inconsistent. And but he's willing to sit there and take those conversations.
And you could tell at the beginning when he was talking about that one specific fight, Theo was bringing up this one specific fight, and Donald was not saying anything. He was starting to say details, and then he would go to something generic, and he would start saying details and he'd go to something generic. And I was thinking he doesn't know about this specific fight. And then he started naming details of the fight. It's almost like he had to remember which fight it was.
Because he's been to so many.
He's been to so many. And they even talk about the first fight he even went to, Frazier and Muhammad Ali.
Like in early 70s.
But it was good. There was one funny part in there that I thought Theo Von is probably the only person in the world to call Donald Trump homie. because at one point in there, because that's what he says, and Theo was like, "Oh man, blah blah blah, homie, blah 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 blah."
Yeah.
blah. I was
Yeah.
like, dude just called Donald Trump homie, and they
Yeah.
didn't even phase. It was like a conversation. So
I think
it was good.
I mean that is good, and it's going to make honestly it's going to be accessibility of Trump to a portion of his demographic that probably already largely supports him. You know, but if if Trump sat down for one of these long form interviews with like Joe Rogan, then you know you would see a lot more people have a lot more access to him, and by like normal people are not going to go out and watch a Trump interview with Dana Bash or whoever, you know what I mean, like a CNN.
I would
but
love to see Joe Rogan interview both Harris and Trump separate times.
oh my God, I want Joe Rogan to moderate the
I don't even need
debate.
a
That would
debate.
be
I just
amazing.
want him to moderate an interview. Have an interview with both of them.
The thing is, you know, Kamala Harris can't even have the conversation. She's not competent to stand her ground with her own thoughts and ideas because she knows that they're deeply unpopular.
Well, at one point in that interview, you know, Trump they say something about, you know, Theo was like, "I'd like to interview Kamala. She's more than welcome, blah, blah, blah." And Trump was like, "Yeah, you might actually make her interesting." he was like, I think the only reason, didn't at the beginning, the only reason Trump went on that show was because of Barron. And he basically says
Yes.
at the beginning, he was like, "Barron is a huge fan of yours." And he was like, "Dad, you got to do this show, blah, blah, blah." And that took Theo back. He was like, "Oh, wow, that's really cool."
Yeah. That's good. That's a good one.
All right. There you go.
Let's see. So this is kind of in our wheelhouse, so I want to cover this story here. California has passed a new law to make us all safer. Aren't you excited about this?
I am super.
Check this out. California's legislature bans deepfakes. Oh, yeah. Bloop. And they require social media platforms to block them around elections. Oh, so for our own sake, California is going to limit the speech we're allowed to see. Oh, good. Oh, so good.
Deepfakes aren't all evil. They can definitely be used for evil purposes. I want to see a Marvel movie with Robert Downey Jr. playing every part, and deepfakes will do that for me.
I want to see a whole Star Wars trilogy where Mark Hamill's taken out and Donald Trump's put in his place.
They're already working on that one.
I hope so.
No, I've seen
I
that.
will give you money to see that.
I saw the.
I've seen that trailer. I've seen that trailer. The California legislature this week passed this law. So, okay. So you guys know what deepfakes are. And obviously we use them for satire all the time. In fact, you can see clips right now of people taking clips of Kamala Harris and then replacing her voice with her saying things that are like the opposite of what she said.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
You have to have an ear for it. You have to listen. And a lot of people don't. I have been listening to audio and doing this for 30 years. And I can usually spot the deep fakes. There's been some that's gotten me before that I'll listen to them a second time and I'm like, "Oh, that is fake." But a buddy of mine has our old boss and went it through, and and I couldn't tell you that wasn't the real man saying it until he told me. I was like, "Oh my God, he really said that?" He was like, "No, dude, this is AI." And this is a guy that hired me 30 years ago.
And you know this is going to be abused. This law is going to be abused as soon as possible. You could have instead of deepfakes, you could have somebody impersonating Trump or impersonating Kamala Harris's voice recorded over their clip. And they'll get those videos taken down and suspended, and then they'll be like, "Oops, we were wrong." This is bad law. This is like a broadsword instead of a scalpel. And I don't even know that we need a scalpel. We need to understand that people in the world will lie to you. That's what we need to understand. They're trying to get people to trust media more. No, we need to do the opposite. We need to have people trust the media less.
I was trying to find all those things that we did with the AI that
oh, Rexy, you're so sexy.
Oh, Rexy, you're so sexy.
I was trying to find those ones that I did though for our AI for the show, but I've put them somewhere and I do not know where they are now. So yeah, I mean It's scary. Let me show you some clips that are real, and these are not AI. So this is clips of Kamala over the weekend. I'm going to show you 2 different clips from
Like
2
no
different.
comment thing ready.
Yeah, this is the last one. 2 different clips from 2 different places. Let's see. Kamala Harris. I don't want to give a little bit away. Okay, so this one is Pittsburgh. This is Pittsburgh, I believe. This is the I'm bringing it up. Here we go.
You better thank a union member.
Yeah, over there.
You better thank a union member.
This is Detroit. This is Detroit.
5-day work week. You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. You
Okay,
better
so
thank
that
a
hang on,
union
that
member.
was Detroit. I'm going to play.
You better thank.
This is Pittsburgh. Let me turn this one up.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. Because what we know, you better thank a union member for sick leave. You
Hey,
better
it's
thank
Tyler,
a
bro.
union member.
Yeah, they put up the same. They've put up the same one twice.
In the Pennsylvania
Where's the
clip,
other-
she's no longer using her fake Southern accent or fake
yeah,
Southern
and that's
dialect.
the one that I was trying to find here.
Yeah.
I think it might be
Look,
right.
this isn't tricking black people. You know that, right?
Oh no.
Everybody knows that this isn't tricking black people. This is only tricking dumb white liberal women. That's the only people this is tricking. And that's who she's targeting. She's these kind of accent put-ons are tricking dumb white liberal women because men are breaking for Trump, but women still she has an advantage in certain groups. And white liberal women vote a lot. And if white liberal women think that their vote supporting Kamala Harris is supporting minorities,
Now, JJ,
that's it.
you mean to tell me that if I was working on a country radio station, I wouldn't talk like this right here? If I was working on a classic rock station, you think I'd get on there and talk like this right here? Or do you think I'd probably talk like this? If I was on a classic rock station, I'd probably change my voice to talk like this a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of get a little,
would you
put
do
a
that?
little attitude in it. If I was on the kids station, the hot AC station, hey, you're going to put a little of this in your voice and you're going to sound a little more upbeat and whatnot. But if I'm going to work on a country station, I'm going to put a little bit more country in my twang every once in a while when I talk.
If your show was playing in 2 different markets, no, if you had a show in 2 different markets, you had a show in this market in a country station and another show in another market in the rock station.
No, you can't do that. If you do, there's a fine line. If we have a show, if we have a show, our show is usually, if we don't play music and we're just a talk show, like a lot of these morning shows are, and they market them to everyone, they don't market them to everyone. They're like, this show's a rock show. So if you're a classic rock station, if you're a rock station, if you're an alternative rock station, you can pick up our show. You're not going to have any listeners if you put our show on your teeny bopper, station. That's a completely, so you do market it to certain things.
She's running for national office, and there's the internet.
I'm just pointing out that is very common. What she does is very common, but it's so see-through with her.
Well, it's not. Yeah, it's common at a much smaller scale, at local scales.
Right.
And when you're working in local limited markets, she's running for president of the United States, and we have the internet. We can see.
Yeah, we have the internet.
She's. It's just so dumb. There, and the thing is, it doesn't seem to matter how dumb it is. She's not losing Democrats. They're still voting for her. All right. Which I don't know what that says. I know what that says. Okay, we got Yeah, no comment. We got some fun stuff here. Let's do this.
I got some
I
fun
need to-
stuff. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I haven't updated the beep bop boop, but let's do the beep bop boop. Where
Oh,
is
I
it?
had one more.
Oh, you got another one?
I got one more. I forgot. I completely skipped over this story. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. This was very interesting because I saw this pop up a couple of times over the weekend. So the police in Denver are on a manhunt.
Mm.
Who do you think because of all the stuff that's happening in Aurora and all this stuff with illegal immigrants and whatnot all over Colorado? They were a sanctuary state and whatnot. You know,
It seems like that didn't work out the way they
just
hoped.
pointing out facts that you may have forgotten about. So the police now are on a manhunt for these hardened criminals in Denver that have put up signs like this one right here.
Wow. Oh,
Dude,
wow.
that's just not cool.
This is about 30 seconds.
We are following a number of significant leads, I think, fostered by video evidence that we have and other evidence that we have that has helped us kind of narrow in on some individuals.
And Thomas says that he doesn't necessarily believe that this act that happened in Denver is necessarily connected to similar crimes playing out across the nation. Of course, if you know anything about this crime, you're asked to call Denver police. Reporting on Colfax, Gabrielle Franklin, Fox 31.
We are following a number of significant leads.
I mean,
Now that is obviously political speech, and it's also intentionally controversial in its satire. Blacks must sit at the back of the bus. Kamala's migrants sit at the front.
Yeah.
That is not a statement of black people are less and return to Jim Crow. What that is a highlight of these policies are putting the rest of the world before you. That's what it is, and that's political speech. So, I mean, obviously, they'll get them on city property damage or whatever it is. For
it was like that meme that I posted that I saw. I thought that was profound. It was like refugees don't wave their flags while marching into your country, but invaders do. I was
Right?
like, wow, yeah, right, yeah. All right, let's get to AI.
I was gonna say, when I've traveled overseas, I've always been told, do not wear anything with your flag on it or their flag on it.
Oh, really? That's good to know.
Yeah.
Where's that?
There's a bunch of. I'm just now seeing.
Always.
Beep, bop, boop. This is AI News.
Ooh.
That was free.
Ooh. I forgot
All right,
to
you
get my.
You got AI news because I don't. I've got space news.
Oh yeah, dude. There's AI news. Look at this. This is what we've been asking for. Apparently, Speedy, whoever Speedy is, he got himself a robot dog on Temu. And,
oh my god! Oh, this is gonna go good.
Wait,
then.
what? I want one.
Bart! The fuck? Hey, watch out. Relax. Relax. This is Bart. I want to see you, Bart. Say Bart. Bart.
Bart. Whoa.
God damn it! God damn it! Hey! Hey! Stop! Hey! No! Oh! No.
It's chasing him.
I'm out of car close. Hell no.
It's coming
This
to
is
where
fake.
he's at.
It's fake.
You think it
Kill
is?
this shit.
It's
Shove
fake.
it back in the
Yeah.
car. No. Kill this shit. Take it off. No more.
Yeah, I bet you're right. Sinister.
Bart! The fuck?
Oh,
Yeah.
this clip is cut short because at the end he says, "I want to send it back to China."
No, he said that. He said that.
Oh, did he really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
No, I bet you're right. I bet you're right, Sinister. I bet that's completely fake. Because who the hell's
Yeah.
Speedy?
Oh,
Now
almost.
everybody's gonna
Almost
Google
certainly.
it. Yeah.
I don't know who this guy is,
Yeah,
but that's
good-
very
good
funny.
catch.
And this This is
It's
exactly
funny though, dude. That leap is hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, look, he jumped in and he spun around. Come on.
Yeah, he spun around.
Conveniently right by the pool.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's filming a robot beside a pool. Come on. There's no other reason to do that. Okay.
But this
well,
is
still,
fun.
It's fun.
We're coming there. We're getting there. This is a deep fake. It's still AI.
All right. I got some
All right,
cool
space news.
Back in the 1600s, there was a gentleman named Galileo Galilei, and you may have remembered that name from class. Galileo Galilei. And Galileo
Magnifico?
Galilei was
Oh.
looking through some really neat lenses one time that not everybody had, and he spied Saturn in our solar system. And he was the first one to spy Saturn with its little rings, and he described it as looking like it had a planet that had ears at the time, is how he described it, like it had ears, because that's the best that we could do. Well, now that we can see and do all this and whatnot, we're not going to be able to see those rings very much longer from our conventional telescopes and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yes. They're not just vanishing, but Saturn is tilting and has been for a long time. And it's in March of next year, Saturn's majestic rings will become virtually invisible to Earth-based observers because of the way that it's turning. It's no longer going to be sitting like this. It's going to be sitting like this. So we will have a hard time detecting them. The phenomenon occurs due to the unique tilt of Saturn's axis, which it positioned the ring's edge on to our line of sight. So this is a rare opportunity for you to get out and look at Saturn. Saturn can be visible from normal telescopes in certain parts of the world. I've seen it through a regular telescope. You can see the rings. You can see them in some really good cameras. But Saturn most of the time appears really low on the horizon. You can tell the planets from the stars because the planets will not twinkle. Okay.
Right.
Get yourself a Sky Map app. They're free.
Absolutely.
And then you can figure out where it is. I use Sky Map, but then you can figure out where you're looking. It's cool. And while you have kids that are their ages, JJ, I would highly recommend spending some time outside with the kids.
Dude. Yeah, that's a good one. That me and the kids used to take Sky Eye. I'm going to install Sky Map too. We used to take Sky Eye and do that because you can do this and look at the constellations down there as well. It's really interesting because I would sit there all the time doing this, looking at the different constellations that we never get to see. You know, it's really interesting.
Yeah, there's an entire section of the sky of space that you'll never see because we're in the northern hemisphere. So unless you go into the southern hemisphere, there's entire swaths of it you'll never see.
Southern Cross is the coolest.
The Southern Cross. I've always wanted to see the Southern Cross.
I've seen it. It's cool.
That's awesome.
One of my favorite classes I ever took was astronomy, and astronomy had a lab, you know, and in the lab we would go out to the field at least once in the semester to a very remote, very dark place where they had set up much larger telescopes than you normally get as a commercial telescope. You could get 3-inch, 4-inch, whatever, a couple $100. But if you really want to see Saturn, you need to get like a 10-inch telescope or an 8-inch telescope because the larger the lens, the more light gets in and the better you're able to see Saturn. And I remember looking through this scope at Saturn and just thinking that was one of the most marvelous things I had ever seen in my life, to actually see Saturn with my eyes. So,
and now with quantum entanglement, one of the theories now is that when light leaves that star that's 10 million light years away and you see it, that light did not travel 10 million years. When it left, you saw it. And that's a stupid way of explaining it. You can get way down deep into explaining because of quantum entanglement that light, when it leaves and you see it, you know how that old saying was that light traveled 10 million miles, blah, 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 to reach you. Now with quantum entanglement, they're thinking that it didn't take 10 million light years to get to Earth. As soon as it left, it was here. Boom, 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 with quantum entanglement.
How are you observing? You can't observe. We like with like a screen or a camera or something. What are we talking about?
With your eye, just light movement hitting anything. You don't have to observe it. Boom, boom. It that's a stupid way, and I'm not doing it any justice, but that's a new theory with quantum entanglement and light moving. So
you're saying the universe is not 41
I don't know.
billion
Don't
years
quiz
old.
me. I'm just sitting here saying I don't know anything about it.
6,000 years old.
Jesus.
I love
Got
you
me the
guys.
stars.
You
No,
need to tell me. So what you're saying, Drew, is look, I used my old radio name there.
I did not get into our spooky story. I meant to bring up a spooky story, so we'll do a bit of a spooky story tomorrow.
I didn't even know that was a
for
spooky
sure.
story.
Yeah.
Is that what you messaged me about?
Yeah. Well, I posted it on X the other day because I was thinking about it. Because I usually think about this stuff. Well, I guess I'll try to say it. You kind of think about this stuff kind of like in an abstract, nebulous, hypothetical. But anyway, we'll dig into that tomorrow.
What, do you have to go? I mean, you got 8 minutes.
Well,
minutes?
I guess we got a few minutes. Let's just
we'll just have to rein Dave in on a 15-minute long explanation.
Yeah, really. Yeah, let me pull it up.
There's Jesus and there is demons.
All right, do you guys straight up, like, no slipping around it, do you believe in demons?
Yeah.
I believe that there is beings out there that have been defined and called demons by people. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So when I said no slipping around it, do you believe in demons? You believe in demons? Demons.
Yes.
I believe that there is something out there that what y'all call demons.
There are things
other people
misattributed
probably
to
have
demons,
other names for.
and there are demons. I believe there are angels. I believe in
Yes,
God.
I believe there is a positive beings and negative beings, is what you're saying. We've had several names for them all over the years, but I think it's all the same.
And I've seen some really creepy stuff through the ministry.
And do you believe that those demons in some cases are attempting to negatively influence you?
Absolutely.
I believe they can positively influence you too.
Yeah.
They just want to get you distracted. Yeah, they just want to get you distracted from God
every day.
So, for like one of the ones that I think about the most is like, when somebody commits murder, like, and sometimes it's personal rage or whatever, but it also could be like a demon that wants people to commit murder, like persists and nags and harasses and gets in their mind, and causes them to do that. Like that's an idea that some people have. And so I've always kind of thought about the torment of demons on people as a really like one-on-one personal thing to get individual people to individually like, do something terrible and awful.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now I'm going to play a clip here. This is Tucker Carlson on, it's only a minute. It's not very long. Tucker Carlson in an interview. Go back here.
It's my personal belief, based on a fair amount of evidence, that they're not aliens. They've always been here, and I do think it's spiritual. That's my view. So, and again, it's not provable, but based on the evidence, I think
I'm with you.
Absolutely. But if the U.S. government has in fact had direct contact with these beings, whatever they are, I've already told you what I think they are, and has entered into some sort of agreement with them, which is the claim of informed people, I would say, whether they're right or wrong, I can't say conclusively. But if that is true, I mean, it's a very, very, very heavy thing.
Yeah, a lot of people say interdimensional beings.
Right, I want to ask, are angels and demons, or how would you describe these beings?
These are, again, I'm getting into the realm of conjecture, so I just want to say that flat out.
Entity?
But one thing I know for a dead certain fact, having seen it, is that there is good and evil. We're being acted upon at all times. And I think every person can feel that in himself. I mean, there are moments when you are moved to do things that are much better than you actually are, and they're also more evil and destructive than you actually are. You are subject to forces from outside yourself. That is absolutely true. Now, we can argue about what they are.
Agreed.
But every person in the room
I agree with that.
will tell you, yes, I know what you're talking about. And so there are forces that are not human, that do exist in a spiritual realm of some kind, that we cannot see. Yep. And that when you think about it, sort of make you think we live in an ant farm.
Yeah.
Being right.
Yes.
And that is real.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's many.
So
Okay.
I've said this before, and I just want to get you to thinking this real quick. Okay. Just keep this in mind, right? That with technology, we have found out that ultraviolets, colors, and all this, and this is how bees and everything see. They don't see like we do. They see all these other colors and stuff that's floating around and energy. We have found out that elephants talk to each other all the time in decibels so low that our human ears don't hear anything, but they are. So if we know for a fact now that there is sound and light in spectrums that we don't hear, because the human eyes and ears got about this much compared to, dogs have this much smell. We have this much smell. We have this much. You see, we have our pluses and balances, and we know that there are other things out there right now that we can't see.
Right.
So why is it so out of the realm of possibility that there's not negative and positive beings around us all the time trying to influence us?
Well, that's
that we
certainly
can't see, but some people can
It's my
feel.
personal.
That's
Some
certainly a
people might
dimensional limitation, but consider this. If there are demons, which I'm going to use as shorthand for bad things trying to negatively influence us, and we know that they are, if they are trying to influence people, and we know many people in our society, culture, and country in particular, work for the government, and they're just as flawed and vulnerable as any of the rest of us.
Right.
Why is it outside the realm of possibility that people that work in our government communicated with or tried to make deals
No,
with
not. I think
these
it's
things?
been going on for thousands.
Scripture
and
is
thousands and
really
thousands of
clear.
years.
Scripture is really clear about the fact that Satan impacts the globe, the world. And in
It's
fact,
his world.
when Satan tries to tempt Jesus, he offers him all the nations of the world as if they were his to give. We know he's intertwined there. And so you have this very clear picture of that.
And Jesus didn't
I
even
don't want to
say
say
that they're not yours to give. He didn't even refute that statement.
Right. Now, I'm not going to say that that demons are only about the negative side of things. They don't care if we are for them or against them. All they care is that we are away from God. If they can distract us with shiny things, here you go. And then we don't.
Right,
We're
okay.
none the wiser.
I got one
if they
more
can-
point after you.
All right.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Dave. No. I just
I don't want to limit demons to just doing evil. The Devil's Advocate is a great example of that. If you've never seen that movie, go see that movie. If you don't want to see some of the stuff, watch the made-for-TV version.
do you
It's
know where
still
that
quality?
He's
do
talking
you know where
about
that
Charlie's
term comes from?
boobs.
Do you know where that term devil's advocate comes from? Catholics. The Catholic organization has, when they used to do that back in the day, they would have a priest that would argue in behalf of the devil. He was the devil's advocate.
So
Anyway, this is the point I wanted to make. My crazy brain one more time. What if these beings that we can't see and hear, that are always here, what if for nourishment, like we eat food and we have to have certain things for food, what if their nourishment is our emotions and feelings and energy that we put off? So if you've got a bunch of people always fighting with each other and a bunch of people always trying to get you to fight with each other, more bad stuff is going to happen because you're feeding these beings, where in a sense that you do good and you do good without expecting anything in return.
All right.
You
So
get- I'm just saying.
I'm gonna.
Mate.
I hear you. I hear your idea. You're floating this idea, and I'm gonna say this. Okay, maybe if we are a food source for them, well, then it takes the concept out of the morally clear good and evil.
Nah.
And it puts it into a sustenance argument. And if they are sustained by emotional manipulation, then it isn't evil or immoral for them to manipulate us. It's lunch. But the alternative, I think the thing that is the for me the clearer thing is that they're evil. They're evil and they have malicious intent for no greater purpose other than to be evil.
Nourishment. That's
Look, eating lunch is not evil.
Depends on what you eat.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Look, it only matters
Enjoy
because in his case, you're the hamburger. But like, if that's all it is, that's not morally evil.
It's not morally evil to eat a hamburger, but if you turn around and look at it from the cow's perspective, yeah, it might be a little evil.
Yeah, but you're just lunch, so that don't matter.
So yeah, so you're just lunch. So shut up.
All right, I got a conference call.
All right, I'm going to give you a song real quick. Go over to our playlist and get this song. It's an Indian metal band, an Indian folk metal band that I ran across over the weekend. They're called Bloody Wood. And you have to listen to this song called Gadar. It's got some English and some Indian, but it's got the words underneath it. And holy crap, is this like very powerful politically? It is. It's really good. I think you'll really like it. It's Indian metal. And that's why I was like, ooh, I've never heard Indian metal before. And I listened to it and I was like, this is awesome. And then I started reading what he was actually saying. And I'm like, holy crap. It was like giving me goosebumps. So it's really good. It's over on our Discord server, Deek's playlist. Check it out.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, I'll check that out. Man, if you guys haven't seen like Indian action films, they are next level imaginative. So, all right, joke time. Quick with the jokes before I gotta get going.
All right.
What
has 4 wheels and flies?
What has 4 wheels and flies? What?
Garbage truck.
Oh Lord.
Oh my God. Hold on. Jeez.
These are bad. Come on.
That was a JJ joke.
That was a JJ joke.
That you can't. That's not me. I didn't do that.
All right.
Hey, what do you call your friend who stands in a hole?
I know this one. What?
Phil. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, what kind of pants do psychics wear?
What kind of pants do psychics wear?
Just paranormal pants. You get it, JJ?
That's actually really good. That was a closet player.
Thank you. All right. Go to your call.
Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back tomorrow. Please like, subscribe. Give us another chance. Give us another chance.
Give us another chance. Is that what he said?
Politicians and talking heads lying left and right. You can help us bring facts into the light. Don't let your dog